Very good evening. Welcome to Capital Showdown. And there is a reason why our team today is rolling inside this studio, because the weather has got the better of electioneering, the campaign in the national capital. It's been raining incessantly since the morning. All parties have called off every rally, every nukkad sabha, every mode of campaigning that they were resorting to this evening. So we also rolling right inside the studio here. But let's get you the big story today. In the time of elections, there is factionalism where all three parties are concerned. Each party contending for chief ministership, each party contending to make the government in the national capital, now battling in fighting. Today, the biggest bombshell was dropped by none other than the founder of the Aam Aadmi Party, Shanti Bhushan, who went on record saying very clearly that Arvind Kejriwal must quit as Aam Aadmi Party convener. On the other hand, Kiran Bedi, along with Amit Shah, holding one meeting after the other with party cadres to stem the revolt that they have been witnessing ever since Kiran Bedi was announced as the chief ministerial face. On the other hand, the Congress today again, they really did not need this. Sonia Gandhi loyalists, Janardhan Dwivedi, praising Narendra Modi, forcing Ajay Makhan, the face of the campaign of elections for the Congress in Delhi, to make a press conference, criticize him and contemplate party action. All three parties facing factionalism from within, all in the time when we are just about 15 days from polls. Well, we might be inside the studio, but we are getting you the biggest interview today. An interview which has set the political narrative, at least for the day. Shanti Bhushan coming out on record to TVTN managing editor Rahul Kanwal and saying very clearly that Arvind Kejriwal must quit as convener. And if it comes to him, which is Shanti Bhushan, number one is Kiran Bedi for chief ministership. Number two is Ajay Makhan. Number three is Arvind Kejriwal. Let's get you that exclusive.
Do you believe one of the changes that should be put in place is to find a leader apart from Kejriwal?
Yes, another convener, a different convener.
You think that's required?
Yes,
Why?
that is for this reason. A convener who has gone astray, who starts claiming that his voice has to prevail in respect to the majority in a committee, has to be. That means he is.
But will the party not fall apart if Arvind Kejriwal is no longer at the helm?
You see, most people feel that since Arvind Kejriwal has been projecting himself from the very beginning, I think the choice will have to be between Ajay Makhan and Kiran Bedi, because Ajay Makhan has a lot of administrative and political acumen. So far as Kiran Bedi is concerned, her track record suggests that she would give a very honest government to Delhi. I can't say the same thing about Ajay Makhan, because Congress has been a party to such massive corruption in recent years that it is difficult to imagine a Congress without corruption. And I don't personally know Ajay Makhan as well that I could say that he would also be totally honest if he becomes chief minister. So far as Arvind is concerned, Arvind has also a track record as a crusader against corruption. So if he becomes chief minister, I can rely on him.
Well, TVTN managing editor Rahul Kanwal got us that exclusive. He's right now joining us live. Rahul, how do you reckon this interview, the founding member of the Aam Aadmi Party saying what he did to you, impact the elections right now?
You know, I must tell our viewers what happened before this interview actually happened, Preeti, because the moment that Shanti Bhushan staff saw us at the Bhushan residence in Noida this afternoon, they immediately called up Prashant, told him that we were here. He tried very hard to persuade his father not to do the interview. So there's a lot of pressure. Yogendra Yadav spoke to Prashant Bhushan, told him about what Shanti Bhushan had said. There's a lot of pressure applied by the party trying to get Shanti Bhushan to back off. But Shanti Bhushan said, I've given him my word, I will do the interview regardless of the consequences. That's really how the interview began. And the most interesting part, or the most explosive part to my mind, is where Shanti Bhushan says that Arvind Kejriwal must step down as convener. Now, this is the first time that a founding member, a key figure in the Aam Aadmi Party scheme of things, at least originally, has come out and made this assertion. to the embarrassment of Prashant Bhushan, Shanti Bhushan also adds that Prashant agrees with his views. He says that they've spoken about this several times, that Prashant is no longer as politically active as he was earlier, that he feels cut off, that he feels that Kejriwal is going down a wrong path, that he's gagged till the election results come out. But the father says, and the son is denied this, I must add, but the father says that in private the son has told him that he agrees with Shanti Bhushan's views, that Kejriwal is going down the wrong road.
Well, appreciate you joining us, Managing Editor Rahul Kanwal, getting us on what went on behind the scenes, how Shanti Bhushan did not wanted to do the interview, but his son was persuading him not to. And that's the reason why we get you the biggest exclusive right here on Capital Showdown, because lined up next is Prashant Bhushan himself, and joining me for that is our Managing Editor Rajdeep Sardesai. It's over to Rajdeep.
Thanks very much there, Preeti. Okay, let's go straight across to Prashant Bhushan to find out where he stands on this controversy that is bubbling all the time. Prashant Bhushan, please tell us, how do we interpret what your father, one of the founders of the Aam Aadmi Party, a patron of the Aam Aadmi Party, has to say when he says that Arvind Kejriwal must step down as convener? He has gone astray.
You see, Rajdeep, these are issues which are internal to the party, which would have to be discussed within the party. These are not issues which at least I am going to discuss publicly.
But it's all out in the open now. It's out in the open, and it seems almost as if you're gagged. The thing is that it's out in the open. Even when asked a specific question, who should be the chief ministerial candidate, he said Kiran Bedi 1, Ajay Makan 2, Mr. Kejriwal 3. So clearly this is no longer an internal matter. If it was internal, then why did your father speak out? As a result, hasn't it caused huge embarrassment to the Aam Aadmi Party on the eve of this big election?
Well, I don't think that he should have spoken out publicly about these issues. Whatever, I mean, we respect his personal views. He is entitled to have his personal views. We are entitled to disagree. Some of us are entitled to disagree with him. But in any case, these are issues which are internal issues within the party, which would have to be discussed.
You don't share them?
Internal organs of the party.
You don't share them, Prashant Bhushan? You don't believe that Arvind Kejriwal should step down as convener, that Arvind Kejriwal is not the right person to be Chief Minister of Delhi?
No, these are not issues which I am prepared to discuss on a public platform. These are issues which have to be discussed internally.
The sense I'm getting from what you're saying is that there is a divide in the party between the Bhushans on one side and Arvind Kejriwal and his group on the other. Am I right, at least in saying that there is a growing divide, and you today are embarrassed to actually admit it in public, unlike your father who's come out with it? And does that trouble you, that a party that you all tried to set up is now virtually breaking apart?
You see, as I said, there are issues, there are problems within the party. These problems need to be decided and ironed out, and I am hopeful that they will be ironed out after the elections.
Can I raise one of those issues, because you were speaking about it, I saw a little while ago, which is candidate selection. Is that what troubles you, that there are people who've been taken in from other parties, people whose track record you believe is questionable? Is that one of these issues that is troubling you, or is it simply that you believe that, or your father believed that Mr. Kejriwal is running the party now like a one-man show?
No, there were complaints about the candidate selection, and therefore those complaints were referred to our internal Lokpal, Admiral Ramdas, and he examined those complaints and he gave a decision by which he said that 2 of these candidates at least need to be replaced, and if in future something more is found out about the other candidates, then they would also have to be replaced. But right now 2 of those candidates which he wanted replaced have been replaced.
What is your sense? Is the problem lack of internal democracy? Is that, you keep saying that these are issues which should be internally discussed. They're obviously not being internally discussed, which is why Shanti Bhushan perhaps has come out in the manner that he has. Is there a problem of lack of internal democracy in the Aam Aadmi Party at the moment?
See, there are several problems which have been mentioned from time to time by different people. These are problems, some of these problems are natural within a new party. In a new party, many of the systems are new systems. Some of them don't work as well as they should work, etc. So these are issues which need to be grappled with, which need to be seriously addressed, and which need to be sorted out and ironed out immediately after the elections are over.
Where does Kiran Bedi stand on all this? The fact that she's been made the BJP candidate, the fact that she was earlier with India Against Corruption, is that an attraction for you and Shanti Bhushan, or do you believe that she has also gone astray by joining hands with the BJP because she says the RSS is a nationalist organization? Your father also today seemed to almost endorse what she was saying. Do you also prefer Kiran Bedi to Arvind Kejriwal as a chief ministerial candidate?
No, on this I disagree with my father. I feel that Kiran Bedi firstly told us that we should not enter electoral politics, that this is a morass and so on. And that's why she didn't join the Aam Aadmi Party. But now at the eve of this election, she has gone and joined the BJP, a party which is not merely corrupt. It has a track record of corruption. It has done nothing about this black money, etc. It has not even allowed a Lokpal to be appointed. Apart from that, it's also a communal and a fascist party. And now it has shown every sign of obscurantism, as well as adopting regressive policies, rolling back some of the progressive social legislation that were brought even during a corrupt UPA government.
So you disagree with what your father said?
I don't believe that Kiran Bedi would be able to do anything useful or anything in public interest.
So you disagree with your father who says Kiran Bedi is the best choice? You disagree with your father who says Kiran Bedi is the best choice for chief minister?
Yes. Yes, I disagree with him on this.
Am I to understand then that Prashant Bhushan, today your voice in a sense no longer matters as much as it did a couple of years ago, when a lot of the Aam Aadmi or then the India Against Corruption was about drafting, about law, and today as it enters politics, voices like yours are being edged out? Am I to understand that that is what concerns you, that there is, I come back to it, is there a high command culture now in the Aam Aadmi Party that leaves people like you feeling a little disillusioned?
See, as I said, there are several problems in the party which need to be addressed and sorted out. And I expect that they will be addressed and sorted out after the elections. So far as my involvement and my voice within the party is concerned, you see, my primary duty is to my public interest cases in the courts, as well as this institution in Palampur, the Sambhavna Institute of Public Policy and Politics, etc. But I am still engaged with the Aam Aadmi Party. I am very much a member, not just a member of the National Executive, but also of the Political Affairs Committee of the Aam Aadmi Party. And I hope and expect that the party will remain true to its original vision and mission, which was to cleanse politics, which was to change the whole political system in this country.
Can I therefore ask you in conclusion, do you today feel that the Aam Aadmi Party has been embarrassed by what your father has said, and thereby the chances of the Aam Aadmi Party now fighting the elections and winning it have reduced because you've scored a self-goal? Would you concede that what has happened today has been hugely embarrassing and a virtual self-goal for the Aam Aadmi Party?
Yes, it could be embarrassing. Therefore, I don't agree with my father sort of coming out publicly with these issues or with his views on these issues, etc. But in any case, you see, in any proper democratic party, there should be space for such difference of views, etc. And these are issues which need to be seriously discussed debated and sorted out.
Can I ask you therefore in conclusion, are you planning to leave the Aam Aadmi Party? If those issues are not sorted out, will Shanti Bhushan and Prashant Bhushan leave the Aam Aadmi Party? Will you quit it?
No, I'm not saying that at all. You see, I see my role in the party primarily is to keep the party. I mean, I see myself in some ways as a moral rudder for the party, and I see my role as one to ensure that the party doesn't stray too far from its original founding vision and mission.
Which it seems to, which you believe, which your father believes it has.
That's what I'll continue to try and do.
Which your father believes
in the
it
party.
has. Which your father believes it has. Your father believes it has strayed from that original vision. So clearly, at the moment,
well,
yes. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, possibly he believes that some elements of this have.
Right.
Some elements he probably believes that some elements of the party have strayed from its original vision and mission.
Right.
And that's what needs to be discussed, debated,
right,
and corrected if that has happened.
Okay. We will wait and see whether this move of Shanti Bhushan in a sense is the beginning of a split within the Aam Aadmi Party, or whether the Bhushans will now stay on within the party that they were part of its founding, one of the founders of that party. Prashant Bhushan, appreciate your joining us here on Capital Showdown. Okay, let's on that note take
you where the news is today. Of course, we are rolling out of the studio. It's bad weather, but tomorrow, once again, we'll take you to ground zero, where the news is developing. Well, it's good night from now from our team, but we do...